battering rams in war. So what happened was, when they had built walls and gates and barriers, our people, we had a wood that's only in Hawaii, and it's a heavy wood, like an iron wood. It's called ke'ave, and the thing is so heavy it sinks in water. So they used to have like 12 to 20-foot spears, and I guess they would tie them together with coconut husk, with coconut fiber. They make ropes and stuff. So they're tied together and use it as a battering ram, even in war. So and it also has the meaning of many death or death dealings, because this warrior society was dedicated to the protection of the high chief. So there was different levels of chiefs, like over 10. But high chief was if your mother and father were both high chiefs. Only had their lines have only had mixed with high chiefs, then you are considered a high chief. The crest was made of a tough sedge called uki, and the strips of tapa cloth were often hung from the lower edges of the gourd. Contrary to the tourists presented this headgear, signifying the wearer as a kahuna. So the tourists says they're priests, but this was not priests. These were elite warriors. Okay? So the story I'm going to tell you is the truth that they're not going to say nothing about. They ain't going to tell you this. Okay, so what happened was, he got upset. He's telling Cook to leave, and Cook didn't want to leave. He is big headed. He's thinking, man, you guys better wake up. So what happened was, he sent his special forces to the ship, and he stole every piece, every knife and sword that was in the ship. He took every knife and sword that was in the ship. And when Captain Cook went back to the ship, he found that all his silver, all his knives, all his swords were gone. They took them without them even knowing. That's how elite they was. Like they were the first Navy SEALs. So when he found this out, he's like, I can't believe these fucking savages. So what he did was he came back with a war party with his troops fully decked for war, and then that's where you get the Captain Cook, where he gets shot. And that's where you get this. He came back and was like, dude, where the fuck is my shit? He said, where the hell is my shit? My shit, where's my shit? Okay? He said, where's my shit? And then we said, we told you, we warned you. We ain't playing around. You leave, or you won't leave here alive. So what happened? War broke out, and he died because he was stubborn. You know why? Because he was a Freemason. He was on a mission to find the Israelites. I did not know was a Freemason. And what I'm going to get into is going to connect how the Freemasons was the direct reason for the rediscovery of Hawaii and the toppling of Hawaii. See the full bearded Negroes? Every picture they try to make them more Mongoloid, but the original is even more Negro than this. If this is not it. That's what they do, man. They change everything. Look how European this looks. You gotta get the old ones. The older the better. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so Cook was no longer seen as an emulation of the god and was slain by the chiefs of Kalaniʻopuʻu on February 14, 1779 at Ka'avaloa, Kealakekua Bay. Hiapo had been the chiefly high priest who had stripped the flesh from the body of Captain James Cook. See, what happened was we felt that the bones and carried the mana, the spirit, the mana, the power that the person had possessed. Depending on the person, how much power they had, how high the power level was. So with Captain Cook, they recognized him as a high power official in his system. So they treated him as a priest, as a high priest or a chief. And they stripped his body of his flesh in order to protect his bones, which was wrapped in a spotted cloak and feathers, as of all the priests and kings before and enemies. So this is where they get, oh, we're cannibals. This is where they try to lie and say, oh, there's people that ate Captain Cook. They're cannibals, they're savages, we have to take them down. We have to take them down. So there was a black crowned night heron, which was white feathers, ensign of a priestly line, to Captain Clerk aboard the ship Resolution, anchored in Kealakekua Bay, Hawaii Island. So it goes, Lono haoli mai kini nui mamao, like the 13 generations of his ancestors that preceded him, was the keeper of the hair and feathered gods that had been handed down to his time from the time of Lailoa. Kalaniʻopuʻu, last of the ancient line of ruling chiefs, into whose came both the house of Ku and the house of Lono, was the hereditary heir of the line of Lailoa and ruling chief in the time of Hiapo. He had seen fit to wield the feathered gods and hair of his ancestors to his nephew Kamehameha. So right now, Pa'a had came hundreds of years prior, okay? Almost 600 years prior had come the Tahitian king, who had brought many gods and idol worship and image worship. Now he gave a prophecy saying, if you follow the idol worship, then you will unite the islands. So at this time, it's been a mean perversion, and the creator is way, and nobody's even recognizing the creator at this time. There's only like a couple small priesthoods, one island. So Kamehameha now is up to bat, and he takes this prophecy wholeheartedly, and he says, I am gonna, with the advisement of Europeans who had came into the islands and had, like Captain Cook, haven't had very much luck. So what they had devised was every nation had captured a chief, not in the sense of war, but had captured him and befriended him, and had told him that they will help him in whatever way they can for him to conquer the islands. So everybody had their bets out, and they was banking on the winner so they could have access to the resources, because this was a major sandalwood operation here. I mean, it could have been lasted forever, the sandalwood, but I'll get into what happened there. Okay. So Kamehameha was given the land by his uncle over his son Kavalao, who was the rightful heir. So Kamehameha was chosen to rule Big Island. In ancient days, these two, the chief or kingdom, as it has to be called, and the god, were considered of equal importance. Kalaniʻopuʻu seemed to have had the same premonition as ancient Liloa, who had similarly passed the two down to his two sons. The kingdom to his legitimate heir, Hakau, and the priesthood to his illegitimate son, Umi, who ultimately came into the possession of the kingdom as well, because the one to whom it was given failed to rule upright. So in Hawaii, if the king failed to rule with morality and righteousness, then the priest could overthrow him. So Kalaniʻopuʻu's son Kiwalao was eventually killed in a great battle by the forces of Kamehameha. So Kamehameha was the ruler of Big Island, but his cousin was the rightful ruler. So what he did, he sought him out and killed him. Kamehameha, who came to be called the Great, would finally realize the prophecy of the priest of Pa'au, as that all the lands of the chiefdoms came into his possession, and he ruled over one great kingdom until his death in 1819. Shortly before his death, Kamehameha willed his kingdom to his son Liholiho. However, he willed his gods and He'au to his favorite nephew, Kekuaokalani, of the gods of heaven, the last chief to rule over the hereditary house of the gods. Lono Haoli Mai Kini Nui I Ma